John Roderick, that's Bean Dad's real name. He is a good writer and an interesting writer, and he took to Twitter on Saturday night to tell a story in a very long and drawn out way about his 9-year-old hungry daughter who wanted some baked beans. And so she brings this can of beans to him, and she's like, "Daddy, I want beans." Yeah. And he decides, I'm going to use this as a teaching moment. And he tells a 23 tweet long story about how he approached his daughter requesting beans. He decided it's about time for my 9-year-old daughter to learn how to open a jar or a can of beans by herself with the old-fashioned, thingamajiggy, the can opener.
Right.
So the whole entire tweet storm from him is about telling how he explained to his daughter, you can't have the beans until you figure out how to open them with this contraption. And he hands her a can opener, and she's like, she's never seen anything like this in her entire life.
Exactly.
She's trying to figure it out. She's struggling. He's telling the story of her struggle.
As she's struggling. Yeah.
As she's struggling. And ultimately, and it's funny, and it's kind of, he's just good at telling the story in a way that's really entertaining.
He's a writer. He's a storyteller. This is what he does.
Absolutely.
And he probably embellished a little bit, I would imagine. A little.
I think so.
On the struggle, maybe a little.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to say it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, he reveals that, she gets frustrated. There are tears. He will not back down because he knows she can do it. He has faith in his daughter. She's going to figure this out. After multiple attempts, she was like poking holes in this thing. I mean, it was a disaster. And ultimately, there's a part of the story where he says, you can't have the beans. It's been 6 hours. 6 hours goes by, and she struggles with the can opener. And at that point, people started to respond to his story that he was abusive, because how dare he allow his poor, hungry daughter to go for so long without feeding her.
Yeah.
And they treated it as child abuse.
Yeah.
And so...
like she was a starving orphan.
Yeah.